In the last video, we talked about the different types of delivery types, and I found a diagram that kind of shows you where it sort of bounces on the pitch and what cricket shot you would play. And I've got some other diagrams as well to go along with that. So we talked about a good length, we talked about a short pitch ball, we talked about a bouncer, we talked about a full pitch ball, which is basically an over pitch ball in international cricket, and also a Yorker. Now that's not all the different delivery types we have, but this is a pretty good illustration. You see if a ball is bowled on a good length, the batsman will leave it or have to defend it. If a ball is bowled short, the batsman has got a chance to cut and pull. If there's a bouncer, the batsman can hook the ball. If it's overpitched, the batsman can drive it or sweep it. And if it's a Yorker, the batsman can drive it, or they can also defend it. What do these actually mean? If you've never seen cricket before, you won't know what any of these shots actually mean. I've got a couple of diagrams here, and I'll just grab them out. So when you talk about a drive, so if a ball is overpitched, you talk about a drive. There's various types of drives. There's a picture there of someone straight driving the ball. You can see that he has got a very straight bat and he wants to hit it straight in front of him. You see over here that he follows through straight down the pitch. So he hits the ball straight back towards the bowler, hopefully past the bowler for runs. He can also on-drive it, and basically he does that by doing the same thing, but just angling his bat towards his leg side a little bit. His leg side is over towards his body. You can see it's a very similar follow-through. It's just got an angled bat. You can off-drive it as well, which would be a bat that is angled the other way, a bat that's angled more towards this side. I also say on a full pitch ball and over pitch ball, if you're playing against a spinner, you can sweep the ball. And I've got a shot here of a sweep shot. It's basically, you see how the ball is pitching very full there? The batsman is getting down on one leg or on a knee, and he's basically cross-batting the ball, generally along the ground, over to the left-hand side there. So he's not hitting it straight down the pitch. He's hitting it on a 90-degree angle towards the boundary to his left. Now, he could hit that on the ground or in the air, but that's what a sweep shot is, and it's mainly played against spinners. If you have a short pitch ball, you can see here that the ball comes in, it's a lot shorter. It will bounce up towards more his chest, whereas a good length is sort of under his waist. A full pitch ball is going to bounce and come up to about his legs. So a short pitch ball is sitting up for the batsman to hit it away. And you can either cut or pull depending on when the ball bounces. Now this is a cut shot. It's on his offside, so it's on his right-hand side if he's a right-hand batter. And the ball is generally going to be away from his body. And he's going to play basically a cross-batted shot and swat it away. Now I can see if I can get a pull shot or a hook shot. This one's a hook shot. It's basically the same length as a cut shot would be, but instead of swatting it away from his body, in baseball you'd call that the opposite field where you hit a cut shot. This one is coming onto the pull side, so he's pulling it around his body towards the left-hand side. Both of these shots are going to score you a lot of runs. Now, that might be hard to see from just a picture, but you can definitely go online on YouTube and just look up cricket shot types, and you'll be able to see a lot of shots like that. If it's a Yorker, you can drive it or you can defend it. Now, defence. There's a couple of different types of defence. There is a forward defensive shot. You see how he's basically on the front foot. He's got his weight on his front foot and he's defending the ball down into the pitch. And then there are different defensive shots where he's got his weight on his back foot, he's more upright, and he's defending the ball down. Generally on a defensive shot, you're not generally going to score any runs. You're going to defend it, and you're going to defend the wickets. You don't want the wickets to be hit, you're going to defend it. All these other shots that I've been showing you, a lot of them are not going to hit the wickets, or they're at a very good place where you can actually hit them away without much risk of them hitting the wickets. Like a straight drive, that could definitely hit the wickets, but it's at a good length for you to hit it away without having that risk. I've got this little chart up the top here, and this shows you where some of the shots will go. So we can see we've got a right-handed batter up here. We've got the bowler running in at him. If you play a straight drive, you will hit the ball straight past the bowler down towards the boundary. If you angle the bat a little bit, it becomes an on drive, or angle the bat the other way, it becomes an off drive. This is quite a safe shot unless you get an edge, and then it can go and be caught behind you. Now you can see there's more drives here. There's an off drive and a cover drive. So it's basically just using the same sort of, I guess, shot type, but a little bit extra width maybe on the ball, which means that you're going to angle the bat a little bit. So you've got a straight drive, an off drive, a cover drive. So that ball's a little bit wider. Instead of being able to hit it straight because the ball's right in front of you, the ball's wider, so you hit it to where it's coming from. You hit it through the covers. You can also hit a square drive as well, a little bit more up here. That ball would be a lot more fuller. You hit it away. So basically you have a length ball that is full, but instead of being full directly at you, it is further out onto your offside or to the opposite side of you. So instead of hitting it straight down the pitch, you're going to hit it away from you, somewhere like that. The cut shot that we showed, that's obviously going to be on the offside, or what we call the offside, or what is the your opposite field in baseball. And you hit it basically on a line here or behind you. So the late cut there is one cut shot that is hit very, very late, and it goes very, very fine. A square cut goes behind you again, and then it can go behind you or it can go like in a line with you. So you can play a cut shot depending where the ball bounces and how late you hit it, and the ball could go anywhere from here to here. You can play a drive and the ball could go anywhere from here to here. Okay, and then you can play a pull shot, and we did have an illustration of a pull shot somewhere. Well, that's a hook shot, and a pull and hook are very similar. A pull is more in front of you, so you hit it round the corner, cross batted in front of you. Or hook is when you basically hook it round your body behind you. Now you can play what is called a leg glance, and that's played more using, you could possibly play it like you played a drive, but instead of the ball being right in front of you, it's going to be more over here. It's going to bounce more over here, so that when it gets to you, it's more on your pad. So instead of hitting it straight a lot of the time, you'll turn your wrists and you'll hit it round the corner. It's called a leg glance, and you can score runs off those quite easy. So basically there's a little illustration of where some of those shots will go. It's hard to explain using just pictures. If you want to sort of have a look at that more, go onto YouTube and watch some cricket highlights. You'll see some of these shots being played, and you'll see what exactly they do. Now, the goal for the batsman is obviously to score runs off all these shots. Now, if the batsman is able to hit the ball, it gets by the fielder and goes all the way to the boundary, that's 4 runs. Okay? If the batsman hits the ball and it goes in the air over the top of the boundary, that's 6 runs. Okay, so you got the 4 boundary, and then over the top of that 4 boundary on the full is 6 runs. Anything that's hit not to the boundary and the fielder has to field, you have to run. Okay, so here's the cricket pitch. The batter is here. So he's the batter, and he's called the batter on strike. Then you'll have the other batter. There's two batters at once, and he is called the non-striker. And I might get a couple of dice here to try and illustrate this. So let's grab a couple of dice here. And it's not the biggest cricket pitch here. Actually, I might do it over here. And this diagram here shows the fielding positions, which I'll go through a little bit in a second. We have the striking batsman. You see there it says striking batsman. And you see the non-striking batsman. So the bowler runs in. He delivers the ball. You hit the ball. You've hit the ball somewhere in the field. It hasn't gone to the boundary. It hasn't gone over the boundary. Now, if it's gone straight to a fielder, these batsmen are going to say, no, I'm not running. If you hit it to a fielder in here, they're generally not going to run because there's a chance that they're going to get out if they run, because the fielder can return the ball to the wicketkeeper or the bowler, and they can break the stumps at each end before the batsman has reached his crease. So it would be like in baseball, you're running down to first base. Actually, probably a better example is if you're running from rounding first, you're running to second base, and the shortstop catches it and tags you out. You're out. So in this case, you hadn't reached second base. The shortstop has tagged you out. You're out of there. That's one out. In cricket, if the ball is returned to the wicketkeeper or the batsman, and the wicketkeeper, sorry, not the batsman, the ball is returned to the wicketkeeper or the bowler or someone backing up at the bowler's stumps end, they can catch the ball and break the stumps with the ball before you reach your crease, and you can see the crease there, that white line. If the batsman's not quite in there and the wicketkeeper catches the ball, breaks the stumps, the batsman running to that end is out. Okay. Also, if the fielder picks up the ball, the batters are running. Say they're running, but the fielder throws the ball hits the stumps, and the stumps are broken before the batter reaches his crease, he is out. That is called a run out. So the batsmen have got to make sure they don't get run out. But if they're pretty confident they're going to get some runs, they'll hit the ball somewhere in here and they'll run. Now, say I hit the ball down here to third man. That's an easy single. So the batter on strike will run down to become the non-striker, and the batter that's a non-striker will become the striker. Okay, so they've scored one run and they've now crossed ends. So the bowler will then bowl the next ball, but he's not bowling to the batter he's just bowled to. He's bowling to the other batter now, who was originally the non-striker. So he'll run in, bowl to the non-striker now. He's now called the striker. He's changed from the non-striker to the striker. Say the batter in green here hit the ball into the covers. Now that's got past the fielder, and this fielder is chasing the ball. So that's probably enough for the batsman to get 2 runs. So they run for 1, and then they touch down within the crease, and then they turn, and then they run back. And they've completed 2 runs. Okay, so they've got 1 run on the first ball. The second ball, they've got 2 runs. Now, because the batter here in green has got 1 run, 2 runs, he's back on strike. If he would have got 1 run, he would have become the non-striker, and the red batsman here would have become the striker again. But because he's got 2, it's an even number, he's got the strike again. Now, say it's the last ball of the over. We have a shot played down the ground here. Now, it hasn't gone for 4, but this mid-off fielder here is chasing it all the way to the boundary. He's got it just inside the boundary rope. So they're going to be able to get a few runs here. So we've got the batter completing 1 run, coming back for 2 runs. And then he sees that they've still got a little bit of time to get another run. He'll come back and get his 3rd run. and they've completed 3 runs. So the first one was for 1 run, the next one for 2 runs, the next one was for 3 runs. Okay, so the first batter here has got 1 run, and then when the green batter here was on strike, he got 2 runs and then 3 runs, so he's got 5 runs. So off that over all up, we've got 6 runs, a single, they've hit a 2 to make 3 runs, and they've also hit a 3 to make 6 runs. Now, if this 3 that was hit was on the last ball of the over, you can see that at the striking batsman's end, you have the red batter again. Now, if there was another ball in the over, the red batter would resume and he'd face, and the green batter would become the non-striker. But in cricket, they bowl from 2 different ends. Now, in the Lambourne games, in the international cricket, I believe there's a card there. I might just grab that out. Give me 1 second. So you can see on the card here that comes with the game, you've got 2 different ends. So you've got a pavilion end and you've got the scoreboard end. Okay, so in our illustration here, just say this one up here is the pavilion end and this one's the scoreboard end. And we've just been bowling from the scoreboard end. So you've bowled an over at the scoreboard end. The very next over, they will have to bowl at the pavilion end. So you're actually swapping it around. Now, these batsmen are going to stay where they are. They're not going to swap over. So because he got an odd number of runs on the last ball, it's what he recalls. They call it retaining the strike. If he was to get a 2 on the last ball, he would be the striking batsman, and then when they change ends, he would be the non-striker. But because he got a 3, an odd number, a 1 or a 3 on the last ball, he is now going to be retaining the strike for the next over. So the bowler will now be bowling from this end at the batsman over here, and this will be the striking batsman, and this will be the non-striking batsman. And the field changes. So this is your onside when you're batting up this end, and this is your offside. If you look at it from baseball, this is your pull side, and this is your opposite field. But when they change ends and bowl from the other end, a right-hand batsman, this will be his pull side, and this will be his opposite field. So it switches over. Now, it might be a little bit hard to understand. What I'd probably suggest is you're welcome to ask questions, or watch a game on YouTube. There should be some full games on YouTube, and you'll be able to see how they swap ends at the end of every over. So that's basically how you run and how you score runs. You hit the ball somewhere in the field, you score 1, 2 or 3 runs. If you hit the ball to the fence and it bounces somewhere along the way or all along the ground, it's 4 runs. If you hit it on the full over the fence, it's 6 runs. And that would be like a home run in baseball. Now, the other thing to recognize is there is no foul territory. So in baseball you would have the striker up here and you'd have your lines. You hit it within here, it's fair. You hit it outside, it's foul. You can hit it anywhere in cricket. It's 360 degrees. So I'll probably leave this video where it is right now and come back in a minute and discuss some of these fielding positions and discuss from the actual charts, the Lambourne Games charts, some of the shots, and we'll just briefly go through, okay, this shot is hit, this is the direction where this ball is going to go. Now, it won't stop you from playing the game if you don't know that, but it's just something so narrative-wise or visually you can basically think, oh, he's hit that shot, this is where it's going on the field. But any questions on all this, welcome to ask.